That was live. Okay, thank you. Such a nice Australian wifey. Oh, let me have a look. Is it actually working? Oh, we are. We are definitely live. Oh, shit. We are. Why is that one not getting the view that I want? Oh, because it's on the angle. And that one is perfect. What's going on here? What's going on? Let me just sort this out quickly. Yummy. That's somebody's name. Yummy. All right, can I actually see anything? Can you guys? Oh, this is pretty crap. No, that's okay. That's all right. All right, while I wait for some people to join. What was I doing first? Volvo. Volvo. We are working on a Volvo. Let me quickly grab that and my screwdriver. Banyard, hello, mates. Hope you're well. The old YouTube is taking its sweet, sweet time. It's not even loading up. I think it's working. There we go. All right. All right. Let me get this one out. And we're going to start working on the Volvo. But I'm missing a toolkit. Super Mac, hello mate, hope you're well. We're about to try and monster up a Volvo, but I've lost my toolkit. Can you see the toolkit over where you are? I've lost my toolkit. All right, we'll get away with it. Hello Rob, hello mate. And the old YouTube is still taking its sweet time. So we did get some new cars sent. I'm actually going to turn this one into a bit of a drag beast. But today I'm going to service some cars. If you haven't watched the live streams on YouTube, we've been doing the digital slot car racing. So I've got all those cars to do some service to now. And we're also going to try and modify this guy. So it's brand new from Scalatric. If you do want anything from Scalatric, there is a link in my bio on YouTube and on TikTok. And what I want to do is I want to make a video where I show you standard car down a drag strip. So I'm going to set up a drag strip outside. And then we're going to start upgrading the motor from each brand to see which one is faster. So that we're going to check out today without getting too far into it. Hello, Alexander. Hello, mate. Hope you're well. I'm going to first take the car off its base and have a quick look inside to see what motor we're rocking with. And then we've got a fair few donor cars that we're going to work with to try and hopefully put a new motor in. So we've got Pioneer. That's going to be a car that we're going to be putting into it. So we'll chuck, hello mate, we're going to chuck a Pioneer, see if that motor actually fits. That should be a faster motor. We've also got, I think we'll be able to use a Scale Auto motor as well. I'm going to try and take a look at that to see if it's the right configuration to make it go a little bit faster. Hello TJ, hope you're well. We've got a Thunder slot. That's another motor. We're going to see if it fits in it. So I'm going to try and use a couple of different brands. We do have a Revo slot. Where is that? We've got a Revo slot as well, which is the RX-7. We'll take a look at that motor and see if that one fits in our Volvo. We've got an Advanced slot. We'll see if that one fits. And last but not least, we've got a BRM, which is a bigger model. So the whole purpose of this is, for this video right now, is let's crack open the Volvo, which is brand new. She's a little beast. We'll have a quick look inside to see what we're running. And I have done a video on this, and these screws are absolutely dog. I don't want to say the word because I'll probably get banned. Probably get banned. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. But this one is better. Actually, I should show this right now. We did get another one sent yesterday. I am going to do a video on it. I think tomorrow I'll have more time. We got the cop car version. So it's got all the working lights, proper cop car. That's the Volvo. We won't be doing any work on this one. And just before I went live, this turned up from Scalatric, the new AMG. So that just turned up as well, which we've got a very similar one from Scale Auto, from NSR. Very similar take on the same car. So two AMGs. So that's the latest from Scalatric. And I've had that one, which unfortunately isn't running properly at the moment because I'm working on it. So that's another car that came. So can I put anything in the background? Can you guys see those? Yeah, you can see those. Let me put that in the background. There we go. So let's crack it open. Let's crack on. Clacking on, get these guys out. Now these screws, because I've been leaving these cars outside, these screws have actually gone a little bit funny, if I'm honest. All right, making sure, yeah, he's still stuck in there. And I actually want to see, I haven't cracked this chassis open yet to see what the station wagon looks like. Right, so they're sitting there. Now, this is the one I had trouble with. Is it going to come out? No. Is it going to come out? No. All right, let's try this little kit. I just inherited a 13 apartment building and have no idea where to begin. I'm a 38. I love those scammers. I'm a 39-year-old woman and I've inherited a 39 story. Hello, mates. Hello, Suj. Austria. Music time. Hello, mate, from Sydney. I am originally from Australia, but we are in Austria. We've got our first scammer for the chat trying to give me their apartment block. Shall I take up on their offer? I'm not a scammer. So you've got a let's have a look at that. I inherited a 13 apartment building and I have no idea where to begin. I'm a 39-year-old woman. What are you asking? You've come to a random slot car channel and you're hoping that I've got advice on how to do what with your apartment block. That's interesting. I'll tell you what, YouTube does bring out all the I'm from Canada. G'day, Canada. Oh, that's the same person. I'm not a scam. I'm from Canada. So what are you asking? I mean, this is definitely a property development channel. Obviously, you've come to the right place. I'm working on a toy car, and you're asking me. Thanks for the follow on TikTok. Thank you. We've got TikTok and YouTube running side by side. Oh, here we go. We're cracked it open. I'll wait for the scammer to get back to me. Oh, they're stuck in there. Okay. So that's the motor we're rocking with at the moment. So I'm going to do a pass down the drag strip standard, and we'll see how quick that goes. I don't know how I'm going to time it yet, but we'll figure that out. So that's the standard motor inside the... Hello, Chase. Hope you're well. I'm doing good, mate. Hope you're good. Did you move from Australia because it was a giant ripoff and overpriced? Did you move from Australia because it was... where did you live in Australia? That's interesting. Let me know. As a fellow Canadian, she's not with us. Who was that? Ontario. Good work. Honestly seen good-looking men and wanted advice.
He's married.
I'm not married. My sister's behind the camera. You can put it in my name. We'll take it. Will we take the 39? Yeah, we'll take your... You know what? It sounds like you got a lot of stress on your plate. We will take that. We'll take that off your plate. Just send me your bank details and we'll go from there. So there it is. So that's our chassis we're rocking with. So the goal is now, I hope you can actually see that because we are zoomed out. We're going to check a couple of motors. So that's just a standard Scalatric motor. The problem we're going to find, we might not have anything that fits that easily. So I'm going to start with, I think, a car that I know should fit it and it should be more powerful. So the goal of the video that I'm making is how fast can we go down the strip in a Scalatric slot car. So this is pretty much a Scalatric car. It's a Pioneer. It sort of runs the same similar chassis. As you can see, they look very similar. So the motor, I'm hoping, will fit. So let me move him out the way. Beautiful looking car, by the way. Pioneer, made in the UK as well. Real good looking piece. So I'm hoping when we crack this guy open, the motor will go in. What chassis is that, Kyosho? What's that? Now, these are all slot cars, mate. No RC cars here. You can use some Kyosho chassis, the 128 scale, on our 124 cars-ish, but these are all slot cars. Sydney, hello, mates. I'm not giving it away. Okay, well, I don't know how I can help you then. So let me quickly crack this one open and we'll compare the chassis and hopefully we've found our first donor car, which this shouldn't be a big upgrade. Well, it probably will be actually. So I'll just crack it open. These are real easy to work on, slot cars. They're just electric motor. They're full of magnets, most of them. Take away the 4 screws on this chassis and I'll quickly show you how they are on the inside. I'll take it apart first. If you are joining on TikTok, we are cracking open some slot cars to build up one big monster of a video, which I'm working on. Let me get this guy out first. As my wife whispers to herself, she likes to whisper. I think she's going crazy. How does this come apart? Ooh, that doesn't sound good though. Why is that crunchy? Ooh, can I open it up or not? I think we're stuck. I don't want to break it because this is quite rare, this car. Yeah, why is that stuck? Is there another screw? Well, I found a mirror. That's interesting. So we'll put that in there. I found a mirror. Why isn't that opening up? Oh, they're staring right in my face. 2 more screws. I'm like, well, why isn't that opening? We've got 2 more screws, which is a bit odd. So we've got 6 screws for this guy. All right. Now we'll be able to open it up. My fault. There we go. I was about to rip it open and go, "Oi." All right. Better. Oh, yeah. So this is going to work. Perfect. So there's our first donor motor. It's a Typhoon. So we're now looking at a bigger motor. I'm from Scotland. Is it Shannon? Shame on. Hello, mates. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Sorry about the glare. Let me sort that out quickly. I can see that YouTube is getting our only sunny day. There we go. So we are looking now at a Typhoon motor. What is this? This is an 18,000 RPM motor compared to the standard Scalextric, which would normally run at like a 12-volt style. So that's going to be our first donor car. So we're going to do one pass with our new Volvo, which I highly recommend getting. This is a pretty cool looking slot car. So we're going to do it one pass down a drag strip on this one, see what the time is. Then we'll take it apart, put our new motor in, which now we've found our first donor car. So we're going to upgrade it to the 18,000 RPM motor. So that's going to give it some more berries. Then if that fits, which I think it will, I'm just having a quick look at it. We're going to need to do some soldering. Yeah, she's definitely going to fit, but it's pretty well hardwired in. Why is that hardwired in like that? No, that's okay. Yep, we can do that. So I'll change that one. That's going to be our second motor. So let me quickly put that. We might put the screws into it, and we'll just put that aside so we can then do a full comparison at the end. Those go there. So that's our first donor motor. I want to crack open this guy. This is called a Thunderslot. It's from Italy. A lot of these brands are Italian, Spanish, Italian, European. Oh, I've never opened it. It's a freshie. No, I have opened it. Stand by. I have opened it. Oh, yeah, here we go. So let's take a look at this one because this is going to definitely have a higher performing motor underneath it. And now we're moving into kind of the hobby grade stuff. Oh, yes. That's a 21.5. So here's our other motor. Scotland. Tasmania, Australia. Hello, mates. Hope you're well. Thank you for watching. What do you think of the brand AFX? Love them. I had a fair few in my collection. I don't anymore. But I did create, stand by. Let me quickly show you. Good question. I love HO. I think HO is good. Oh, yeah. I do have a couple in my collection still, but the reason I'm bringing this over, for those that don't know, AFX is a smaller brand slot car. I actually did create my own HO slot car a couple of years ago with an Italian, no, were they German? A German brand, I think. So very similar to what you're talking about, which is the same size as an AFX, but as an AFX car, yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty fast around the track. They are very fast. So there's our first donor car. Let's have a quick look at this. This is I think is this the Lola? Yeah, Lola. We've got the Lola here, which is a really, really good looking car. Hello from India. Hello, India. Really good looking car. We've got people from everywhere. India, everyone. Why is this light so bright? Can I move that light out of the way? I can't. Can I move us forward? I'm just going to move the table forward because the light is terrible. There we go. It's really bad. Moving you guys forward. Same to you, mate. I'm good and damn making me miss collection at AFX. Jump back on them. If you watch the YouTube channel, over on YouTube, I normally do the digital racing, which we did that this morning. I think we had 44,000 views this morning on a digital race. If you're used to the older stuff, like Scalextric, which I'm a big fan of, I do collect them, I do review them, but the digital side of it now is just, in my opinion, a game changer. So if you haven't seen that and if you've been out of the hobby for a while, jump over and check out some of the live streams. I think you get a fair bit out of it if you're wanting to get back into it. Minnesota, United States. Hello, mate. Do they go or just for looks? No, these are all, so every model that you're looking at right now is a model that is driven on a track. These are all slot cars, all from different brands. And the way they work is there is a guide underneath, which is what I'm touching now. That will keep the car on the track. So there's a slot in the track. They'll go into it, and then there's an electric motor that's affixed to the cars. And just beside that guide, you've got a negative and positive, either way, negative, positive, negative, whatever it is. That will pick up power from the track, which then makes this car drive on the track. That's the basis of how these little guys work. But what we're doing at the moment is we are taking apart a standard Scalatric car, one of their latest, which is friggin' awesome. And we're going to do a video on YouTube, and I'm just doing a check now before I start doing the video on upgrading the motor to see how much faster we can make a standard Scalatric car go down the quarter mile. So we've found our first donor car, which is from Pioneer. That is an 18,000 volt motor. So that is 18,000 RPM, sorry. That is going to absolutely fly. That's our first car. We've now just looked at the Lola, which after flipping it over, it is the right size. And we're now looking at a 21.5 thousand RPM motor. So it's a step up again. So I think we're going to go pretty well. Is it from 67? What do you remember that? Oh, I know what you're doing here. Is it from 67?
Yeah.
I hate this shit. So that's going to work. So I don't need to take that apart. We can set a motor perfectly underneath the chassis. This is a hobby grade slot car, so you can actually ride. Hello, Squirt. Hello, mates. Hope you're well. But this will definitely race around the track. Let me see if there's any other questions. Oh, thank you, mate. I appreciate it. Thank you, Ink. Thanks for watching the content, man. I appreciate it. So now we're moving into some racing territory. Now, I think we're not going to go much higher than that. I reckon we're going to get maybe a 20,000 RPM. I'll bring out another brand. Do I do this one yet? No. I think the scale order is going to be a bit of a pain. I don't think our NSR, I did check this one earlier. Let me just quickly check again. This is another brand, Italian, very, very capable cars, really fast. But I don't think the motor is going to fit. I think it's what we call a long can. So the motor itself is too long. And you can see straight away, if we look at that, that is the motor in pink. And it's a lot longer than what our short can motor is going to be. So that's never going to fit without any serious modifications to the chassis. So this car is out of the picture, but what was that? That is also a 21.4. So that's another motor that would probably absolutely tear down the drag strip. So we won't use that one. Let me put this away. Let's get this one away. I am trying to use as many different brands as I can because that'll make the video not just for Scalatric, but it's going to make it very interesting to see what motor I should say puts the car down the track quicker. And it's going to be a short drag strip. I'd say about, I don't know, 5-6 meters long, enough to get these things boogieing. So that one's out of the question. Let's move him. We do have another car I want to check. This one's from Spain, Avant Slot. Very good looking car. I'm just going to take the lid off first, and I hope he's not on his box. No, he's not. This is the Ferrari 296 GT. I found my people. Do you have any Holdens? No, I don't, unfortunately, mate. I don't. Do you have any hobby grade ones? Oh, of course. Well, Thunder Slot, that's hobby grade, definitely, in my opinion. Thunder Slot is a hobby grade slot car. Avant Slot is definitely hobby grade. Revo Slot, we've got a Revo Slot beside me. That's definitely, in my opinion, hobby grade. We'll have a look at that in a tick. Scale Auto, we do have one of those sitting here. That's definitely hobby grade. And we've got an NSR down the bottom as well. So we've got a couple hobby grade. And if people are watching thinking, what's he talking about? If you look at a chassis from a Scalatric or Carrera, which I absolutely love, these are very much like a high-produced toy chassis, toy car, made in China, made in droves, and they do the job. But when you start looking at I guess you'll call it the boutique brands in our hobby, all the chassis are pretty much designed to be tinkered with. They're two-piece chassis. They've got metal components, bigger motors, hand-built. That's the difference. Hello, user LU3. Welcome back, mate. Welcome back. And also with our Avant Slot, you can see here our engine pod. That is removable, interchangeable. Our Pioneer isn't. I'll say that is a bit more of a step up from the Scalatric Carrera because we're looking at a high-performance motor, but the chassis is still a one-piece bathtub. So I wouldn't say it's a complete toy car, but it is not a hobby grade. So that's a big difference. Some people don't agree with it. Some people think they're all toys. Some think they're not. I have my own opinions. But I do believe that there is definitely a hobby grade side to the hobby. So let me move this Avant Slot in, and we're going to see, we're running a long cam, so we can't use that one either. So again, We've got a long cam motor, so that's not going to fit into our chassis. So advanced slot is out of the question, unfortunately. Do you have hobby? Oh, that's nice. Oh, nice. So advanced slot can go away. Good looking car though. It's a really good looking car. So I can put him away because he's using a long can. What have we got? So far we've got 2 engine upgrades, which is good. We need 1 more. So I'm going to move over to Revo slot, which these are completely different to the rest of the brands. These are Italian as well. No, Italian, Japanese. Yes, these are Italian and Japanese. There's a bit of a joint enterprise going on there. Are these slot cars? Yeah, mate, all of them are slot cars. So this one is definitely hobby grade. We're talking metal chassis, 2-part metal chassis, and we do have a short can, so we can use this one as well. So for our Scalatric build, we've got the standard motor. We're going to do a pass down the drag strip with that. Then I actually should write all this down. Then we're going to move on to we're going to swap the motor out of the Scalatric, see what the time was. Then we're going to move on to our Pioneer motor, which is an 18,000 RPM. So it's a little bit of a jump up. What's this one? 2100. Then we're going to move on to our Revo slot, which is the 2100 RPM. Hobby grade, replaceable parts, toy grade. I do agree. I would go. I'll take it to the next step and say not only replaceable because stuff is replaceable. It's more designed to be tinkered with. So if you look at the chassis, and I'll do it again, like what can you do with this chassis other than trimming off the sides, adding weights, putting magnets in different spots? You know, the chassis, the components on this are literally meant to do what they're meant to do, and we're going to see that when I do the drag video for the Scalatric video, when I start adding more power to it. But then you look at something like this, which is, you know, a 2-piece metal chassis. Every part of component on this car out of the box should be tinkered with, because you can drive this around the track and it might go good out of the box, but if you start playing with it, do height adjustments, you know, loosening off the body, it just becomes an absolute weapon. So I do agree with what you said there. I think the replacement / whatever it is components, yeah, I agree to a limit. I don't agree on price. A lot of people say, oh, if it's expensive, it's a hobby grade. They're all expensive. So, all right, so now we've got ourselves the 21,000. So we'll bump up to the 21,000 for our second motor in the video. And then last but not least will be, at the moment, is our 21.5, which I think is going to be the biggest motor we jump up to. So we now have 3. I'm going to put these in order. We now have 3 motors that we are going to do for the video. So it's 1, 2, and what was that one? 2.5, 3, and our standard. So we've got a jump up, a nice steady grade for our Volvo. But there is one more car I want to look at, which is, no, there's 2. Let me quickly check. Revo has a sister brand. These are all 132 scale slot cars. This one right now you're going to look at is a 124 scale. And then I can use another car to show you the scale difference. Freaking massive, big boys. So I want to see what motor's in this, because another one. So we'll get ourselves a short can, which is perfect. I'll quickly show this. That's a 19,000. That's a 19,000. So now we've got 4. So we're going standard, 18,000. And this is all for the drag video. Standard, 18,000. Now we've got 19,000, 21,000, and 21.5. And I think we may have one more. Let's have a quick look, which is Scale Auto. I'm actually thinking about chucking a Carrera motor in there too, because they are a little bit different to Scalatric. That might be our second jump up, which I'll have a look at in a tick, but they're not marked. All the toy stuff is pretty much not marked. The motors are literally a sealed can, and you don't really know what's in it. Well, you do, but you don't. And this is our other one, which is another hobby grade. So this is Scale Auto from Spain. Absolute weapon of a brand and weapon of a car. But let me quickly crack him out. It's going to be a pain in the bum to get out, so give me 2 seconds, because he's all screwed in. One thing I do say to these brands, don't use screws to put your cars into the box. It's an absolute pain in the ass to get them out and back in again, like they really are. The normal is a thumb screw, so you turn the thumb screw. These guys use, it's a long can. Damn it. And that's a long can in this one, so we can't fit it. But the reason I'm saying damn it, it is a 22.5 thousand RPM motor that would have been the last jump up. And that shows you the difference between, I mean, this is a hobby grade race machine compared to a very capable but toy slot car, which is scale electric, and looking at the two motors, configuration and power. So we can't use that one. So I think we found all our cars. So let me just put some of these back away. But look at this though. I mean, if you're a model car collector, you got to jump onto slot cars. They look incredible. Some have lights. This one doesn't. I mean, it's got physical lights, but they don't work. A lot of the hobby grade stuff, the lights don't work because they don't have globes, but they look impressive. G'day, Brian. Hello, mate. Jay Wood. Hello. The grey one looks good. It looks incredible. It's easily. It's a hard choice between me. That's definitely. I'm going to do a list at the end of the year. My favourite cars for 2025 in the slot car world. This is definitely on the. I'm going to say the top 3. It's a toy, but this so far is my go-to car. I'm a big Volvo fan. I've got 2 of them now. We've got the cop car, which is behind me. That just arrived yesterday. I drove it on my live stream this morning, so full working lights. It's a toy, but I absolutely love the Volvo. I think the Volvo, a station wagon, and that's why we're doing this video. We're going to make this Volvo dance down the drag strip. So I'll probably start filming that tomorrow. So there we go. Beautiful car. Let me quickly just put this one away because this is going to be an absolute pain to get back in if I don't do it now. And I mean an absolute pain. Those screws, putting the screws in to put a car back into its box is just a deadly move. I don't know why they do that. You got to get one started first and the other one doesn't line up, and then it's a pain. It's a pain. No, all right. I'll do that a bit later. Let me just move that car aside so I don't lose it. And we'll do that one later. But while we're here, let's have a look at the Revo slot. So we've got our cars. Can I take this apart? Yeah, let's take this apart. So this is 1/24 scale. This is the sister company to. So we've got Revo and we've got BRM. I'm not a fan of the Revo. You're not a fan? Hello, Helper. Why not? Let us know. What's your thoughts on the? You're not a fan of the RX-7. I mean, it looks good. What didn't you like about it? You don't like the way it drives? Is it set up? What's your thoughts? I think it looks incredible. I think that RX-7 is like a very smart move. It's such a cool car. I think it looks good. But what I'm trying to show here is that is a Japanese / Italian / an American brand, a bit of a joint enterprise, excuse me, and that is just Italian. But it's the same. When it comes to how these work, one is 1/24 scale, one is 1/32, but the mechanics to them are very similar. So that's why these brands go sort of hand in hand, but they're not the same brand. But I do want to crack this open and show you what a 1/24 scale hobby car looks like. And they're impressive. And you can turn these into RC cars if you want to. Be a very expensive RC car though. But you can also use RC bodies on some of these cars. Some people use the Mini Zs. I think people just like using the RC stuff as well. If I can get this out without too much of a mess, I'll be able to show you. No, I'm going to take them all out. It's all right. Let me just quickly take these all out. So only 4 screws, and these screws are fully adjustable. So they've been designed so you can do what's called body float. So if you don't have them too far in, you can actually have the body dancing around a bit. You don't want the top, you don't want the shell and the chassis to be fully sealed, meaning joined. Otherwise, it would be too stiff. So I'll move the shell out the way, making sure I don't lose these screws. Let me just get these screws out the way, and then I'll show you what I call is a work of art. So there's not much to them, but they are metal. Like both parts of this chassis is metal, but all the components, we've got brass spaces at the back here. Let me get some hair out. You've got some brass spaces at the back. All your hardware other than your nylon gearing is metal or alloy. You've got real proper racing rims on these. There's an alloy, almost like a one-piece sort of style rim. You got a split hub, a splits hub. You got a split axle at the front, which is not normal. So this axle doesn't go all the way through, where most slot cars, including the toy stuff, have a straight axle straight to the middle. You can see here. I race 1.8 Nitro. Oh, and you hold the world record. Let me check your name out. I'm going to check you out. Who's that? Emma Winter. Yeah, 1.8. 1.8. That's a fair effort. That is a fair effort. Well, it's a good track to get back into the hobby over here on YouTube. We've got 300 watching on YouTube. Thank you, guys. Love the BTCC. It's my favorite. So far, this video hopefully turns out good. And if you are joining, what we are doing at the moment is we did receive the incredible Volvo 850 last week. We've also received the cop car version, which is here, which was on my live stream this morning, working lights. We're not going to do anything to this one yet, but I will be filming as of tomorrow a video that upgrades this guy from your standard Scalatric car, which I enjoy them. We're going to take the shell off. We're going to firstly do a pass down my homemade drag strip just to see how good it goes. Then we're going to take it apart, and then we're going to upgrade the motor in stages. So first up, we're going to go to the Typhoon, which is from the Pioneer, which is an 18,000 RPM. So that's going to go in there. We're going to solder that in, then do a second pass, come back. Then we're going to put in our BRM 19,000 RPM, is it? 19,000 RPM. Again, do another pass, see how fast it is. Then we're going to chuck in our 21,000 RPM motor into the Scalatric, go down again, see how fast it is, and then we're going to finish up on a 21.5. And we're going to see if we're adding more power to this, is it going to be better? So I think that's going to be a good video if the gearing and that works. So stay tuned for that. But that's what we're doing at the moment. We're trying to find our donor vehicles to start that video. Someone asked a question. Looks are just good. Driving tends to be tip easy. Might be just my trigger finger. Have you got heavy hyper? Have you got heavy brake on? Because if you've got heavy brake on and you're letting go, it will try and tip. So if you're allowing the RX-7 to go really fast, and then as you let go of the trigger, you're letting the motor brake, which will be your brake setting, you will start to lift the back up. It will either lift the back up or kick the back out and roll you over. So be very careful with how much brake you have. So you want some coast. So when you go into the corner, you allow the car then to sort of flow. But it sounds like that's a braking problem to me. You're going fast, like as you do with the slot car controller, you're on, off, you know, not rough, but you're sort of dancing with the car. Even that slight letdown, if the braking is too hard on these motors, they will lock up and give you a turn or unsettle the car. Just be careful with that. Looks good. I think you're getting happy, but yeah, BRM is incredible. What's a good track to get back into the hobby? Couldn't believe the technology changes. Firstly, what size space do you have? I represent a fair few brands when it comes to showing their stuff. I don't get paid by them, but if I'm going to recommend, you know, track, I haven't used the Scale Auto track. That's probably the newest at the moment, Scale Auto, which is this brand. Where is he? He's gone. This brand right here, you might have heard of it. If you're into slot cars, you might not have. Scale Auto, they've now made their own analog track, which I think is going digital soon. It looks impressive. I think that's a really good starting point. But if you're in, like me, you're in a country that gets Scalatric or Carrera, choose either. Choose either. I use Carrera because I'm outside in the snow. It's minus 7, minus 10. There's a lot. It's stainless steel, so it doesn't rust, but it needs a lot of space. Where if you go Scalatric side, you need less space, but it's still good. If you want to challenge, go Ninko track. Yeah, good. Hello, mate. Hello, Benny. Yeah, Ninko is good. Ninko is good. I recommend getting into digital, though. I'm not going to knock analog, but if you are new to the hobby, I think you're going to get a lot of pleasure out of digital, because if you don't have a lot of people to race with, which most hobbyists don't initially, I mean, not everyone follows this hobby. Digital allows you to do, you know, 6 cars. You can have them on ghost mode. You know, you can change lanes. You can run apps. It's to me, it's a bit better bang for buck if you're getting into the hobby. Our big races around the world are all analog, so you know, 1 car per lane. I don't mind that, but I think, in my opinion, I would definitely go digital. Some of these brands can be made digital. I'll talk about Carrera right now. So we've got a heap of Carrera cars beside me, which I'm about to service on camera because we race these on channel. So if you want to watch some digital racing, these got a digital chip in them, and some of these brands now are starting to design their cars to take a digital chip from a brand. BRM will take a Carrera digital chip, so you can actually make these cars digital very simply. They've got the whole, everything's ready to go. Some chassis of Revo Slot will let you go digital. This one won't. It's a very skinny chassis, so there's no room for a digital chip, but their wider body cars will let you go a Carrera chip. Then you've got brands like Pioneer, which I'm holding here. That's pretty much a fancier Scalatric, so that will run a Scalatric digital chip. you'd sort of dance around. The next person to go digital, which is next year, is NSR. They're about to let their chassis go digital. So I think they're either making the chip, which I believe they are, their own chip for Carrera, or they are doing the chassis to fit the chip. But I believe they're making their own chip. So NSR is about to go digital. There's lots of choice. Lots of choice. Let me just build these cars up. If there's any what's it? Champion. What are these? Are these? Yes, SLOTCARS, mate. Yes, sorry. Scarlet Tirana. I haven't got one of those yet. You're coming to Austria. When? When are you coming? Pottering. When are you coming to Austria? So let me quickly build this one back up, and then we'll start servicing the Carrera cars, which I'll be able to show you some of the digital stuff. But I think 4 o'clock my time today, if you are hanging around, later on we'll be live streaming some digital racing. So if you want to come back and see how the digital cars work, that'll be 4 p.m. on my YouTube channel. We have YouTube and TikTok running at the moment, so I don't confuse anyone. So let me just put these screws back in. But yeah, these ones really, the BRM, the hobby grade stuff, allow you to do a lot of adjustments. And I'm glad they've allowed digital, because look, Carrera and Scalextric are really good cars for what they need to do. But adding a hobby grade car to a home track is just, it's a game changer, I think. So good on them. Good on them. What we got? I'm new here, so you've probably been asked this quite a bit. Now, ask any question, mate, already. Have you ever brushless converted any of your cars? So I haven't personally. Brushless, so I raced RC a very, very long time ago. I think early 2000s when I was dabbling in the RC world. And I went from brush to brushless and lipo back then. So we went brush, brushless, and then lipos. That was kind of the first, I guess you can say, change. And now everything's lipo, and not everything is brushless, but RC pretty much is. SLOTCARS went through a brushless stage last year where a fair few brands introduced brushless motors. It's still in its early days. Well, it's actually further along than I believe, but no one's really doing it in the mainstream world. When I mean that is like, Scalextric, Carrera, they're all still brushed motors. Even these guys, every motor you see here today is brushed. Have I converted one? No, not yet. Do I want to? Bloody oath. I think serviceability, if I put all these cars on track, or let me use these Carrera cars as an example, they've all got the same motor. Hello, Phrase. Hope you're well, mate. They've all got the same motor, highly produced Chinese motor, but they're both going to run differently. Where if you have a brushless motor, you're going to get less of that, I guess, inconsistency. Brushless, you're not dealing with brushes, you're just dealing with power. So it is coming. I can definitely say people are racing them. I have driven one. There's a video on my channel when I went to Show Us Your Slots in Australia. I went and did a video just about that side of it, the brushless side, and I drove one of their what's called a wing car. It literally looks like a big wing, and I drove a brushed version and a brushless version. The brushless was it was incredible. The power was just effortless. Very quiet as well. They do heat up a lot though, so I think the difference with an RC car and a slot car is space. Like, you try and get a heat sink on a brushless motor, even one of these guys, if you put a heat sink on this, it'll make such a difference. But once you put a slot car motor and body together, there's not much room left for anything else. What all have you gotten to do? I'm just going to check. So to service my cars, because they're getting used regularly, I really should be oiling them up and greasing them. I won't do that. All I'm going to be checking for today is just seeing if there's any gunk or junk in there that I need to sort out, because of course they're going around the track, thousands of laps a week pretty much, and hot glue in the motors. So one of the tricks, which I'll do that in a minute, we're just going to pack these away so I don't lose anything, and then we'll move on to doing some services. But just basic service for a slot car would be making sure everything is oiled up properly, your motors, stuff like that. Just normal maintenance, like a real car. Just you're not doing oil changes though, but you're making sure that everything is sound. Take it apart, even a quick clean with some, compressed air. That makes a difference. Get a toothbrush out, clean up all the hair, because these do pick up hair. They'll pick up everything but the track. They get a lot of rubber on them too. The tires that we run, are either a silicone or a rubber compound, like a hybrid. So you do get balling up. So you will see, the track evolve. But there's lots you can do to them. So let me just put these away one by one, and then we'll move on to the Scaletri. Oh no, the Carrera. But that's a stunning car. I mean, if you're into model cars, I even say this: if you don't have a track, SLOTCAR dude, hello mate. Hope you're well. We're on YouTube and TikTok. We had over 300 on YouTube, and we've only got 20 on TikTok. What's going on TikTok? I think they want to see more dancing than anything else. No dancing, TikTok. I'll get my wife to do some dancing. Can you do some dancing, babe?
Can do that.
Oh, she can do that. She wants to see my wife dance.
Only for you.
Oh, only for me. Okay, no dancing today. Come back tomorrow. I'll try and convince her. So we'll chuck Pioneer back in. These are a really good car. I haven't actually seen anything new from them for a bit. They're from the UK. As I put them away, I'll sort of explain what they are. I haven't seen much from them lately, but they are really nice. And I still say that they're the best when it comes to presenting the car. So their base has got like a road style look to it. The parts and pieces you get with these, you got a decal sheet. You've got spare tires. So these are looks like race tread. You've got gearing. You've got a new metal bumper, the spares that you get with a Pioneer car, every brand should take note of that. And not only that, the slip that goes over it is pretty well dressed up. Were they model cars? No, definitely not. So these were all designed from the ground up as slot cars. I think pre-2010, a lot of the beautiful looking cars, like if you had this pre-2010, which looks like a proper RX-7, it would have handled like poo-poo. Are those expensive? Yes, they are. They're not cheap. But if you had this style of car back in the day, it would have handled like an absolute pig, because a lot of the chassis design was a bit behind the times, and now the chassis have a lot of R&D into them. So the cars now look incredible thanks to technology. Of course, I mean, this one here is running like a polycarbonate style body. This one's obviously running plastic. Even your toy brand stuff, they look good. And they perform well. So expensive. This is around about, I'm going to take it a guess, 120 euros, I think they are, for this model, this brand. No, don't be sorry. No magnet traction. So when you mean magnet traction, you mean magnets. So some cars come with magnets. Whilst I'm building them away, I'll show you. Scaletri and Carrera all have a magnet, sometimes two. This one has what's called a bar magnet. It's actually behind the motor. So I don't know, I'll show one at a time. There's more people on YouTube, so I'll show YouTube first. So they've got a magnet in them. That's the magnet traction, which is what Scaletri Keated as back in the day. So yes, that has a magnet. This doesn't. So that's just a two-piece chassis without a magnet. But you can put a magnet in these because they come with a magnet. It literally just double-side tapes inside. Does this have a magnet? No. This guy doesn't have a magnet, so no magnet for this one. The Pioneer would have had a magnet. The BRM, the big one I had out, would not have a magnet. So some do it, some don't. It's up to the manufacturer. Let me quickly put this one away. That is the Lola, and these are really quick. Which one's the best? I saw that question come up. Jeez, mate, that's a really hard question because they all do something pretty special on their own. The best. Oh, I found it. There's the mirror. I found the mirror. Yes, the best. I've been looking for that. I would say the best bang for buck out of the box, in my opinion, which I don't have one of those. I've never really received any for review before, so I can't speak on behalf of their current stuff, would be Slotted, and I don't have an example to show you. They're pretty cheap when it comes to the world of slot cars. They're actually pretty cheap, and bang for buck, they perform extremely well. NSR, which we do have, which is this guy. These guys here, NSR, they do all sorts of stuff. They do all sorts of stuff. So NSR do Formula Ones, they do, you name it, they do GT cars. They're really, really good out of the box. Revo is one of my favorite to drive because they're not overly fast, but they're a bit slidey. I do like them. I think my best performing car that I've had this year, and the brand that I think has made the biggest step up, is Scale Auto. Ooh, this little guy here, incredible. out of the box, like butter. And I do have to give Scalextric props, which is why we're doing his car today. This has been probably the best Scalextric car. Best is possibly the most subjective. Oh, it is. You just can't. Like, yeah. Hence why I'm sort of explaining, in my opinion. And you got to be careful in this hobby. Opinions aren't taken well sometimes. I won't lie. I know my opinions have been shot down before, but it is subjective. But they've all got their pros and cons. All got their pros and cons. Now, let me quickly put this one away because I've got a screw left over, and I don't know why, which is never good. So let me quickly put this guy away because we know he goes in here. Let's put him away. So the whole purpose of this live stream today, it was to look for a donor body for this, a donor motor for these cars. We are missing a car is missing a screw. We'll look at that in a tick. So we have found the donor motor. The video will come out very soon where I put this down the drag strip as a standard Scalextric car. Then we take it off track. We put an upgrader motor in, and we get faster and faster with the motor as we go. And we'll see how it turns out. I think it'll be interesting. Let me just put this little guy together. I found it. There it is. Well, that is the missing screw. See? So he goes in there. And then I'll get some digital cars out, and we'll take a look at inside because I do have to service a couple of them because I believe their glue has come undone, and I'll show you what I mean. But we also have a live stream at 4, so I won't be going for too much longer because I will be racing at 4. So that one's done. We did receive the police version, which is the same car, same chassis. The interior is a little bit different. I've got a digital chip in this, so I'll be driving it again. That's got working lights, so it is a Volvo cop car. Pretty cool. That just arrived yesterday, and as I was going live, this little guy arrived from Scalextric. It looks incredible. It's the Mercedes AMG GT. Very good-looking car. That literally just arrived on my doorstep about half an hour ago. So a couple of new cars. Let me just quickly put this guy back away, and then we'll get out some Carrera. But I have been promoting a lot of digital. I know a lot of people have reached out to me and said, oh, what's with the digital stuff? It has been pretty popular on YouTube, streaming it. People are enjoying watching a sort of a simulated race with slot cars. And a lot of people who have left the hobby or were in it a long time ago have come back and gone, what is this? And they've never really seen digital before. And it's kind of spiked them to get back into the hobby. Whether they go digital or they go analog, it doesn't matter. But they've come back into the hobby because they've gone, oh, this is interesting. So it's been good. But let me just, and of course, all these cars that I'm showing you right now aren't digital. So I do collect them all. Let me just quickly try and get this one back together, because if I don't do it now, we'll forget it. And I guarantee you it's not going to be put away properly because I'll forget to do it. Oh, I tell you what, having screws for a slot car body is the stupidest idea. For a slot car shell, sorry. Let me just quickly tighten this one up. But Scale Auto has definitely stepped up this year. I just think they're incredible. Some of the cars I've had my hands on, I'm just like, wow, what's going on here? Why are you so far over there now? And this is what I don't like, the screw style case, because now I'm struggling to get this freaking car in because we've got to get it in the right spot so the screws go in. And I hate that. Hate it. Hate it, mate. No, we'll do that later. That's really annoying. Let's just move that one out of the way. Where's the shell for that? Here. Just making sure everything's together. Moving out of the way. All right, digital time. Here are all the cars that we race. They're all pretty much damaged now. They're all Carrera. They're all got a digital chip in them, so they drive by themselves on channel. What have we got? We've got 11, and a couple of them are starting to see a bit of issues, but we'll go through them all together. So if you do tune in, I do a live stream at about 9 a.m. Austrian time every morning, and normally 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and you'll see these cars in action. And I do try and add a car regularly, but they are expensive, so I kind of hold off until one of them is definitely damaged. So that's all our digital cars. Oh, no, it's okay, mate. No problem at all. Linus, there's the NASCAR. Yeah, there's the NASCAR. Have a quick look. Hello, Caden. I think a better question would have been, which one is your favorite? Best is possibly, yeah. Which one is my favorite? I'm a Porsche guy, so anything Porsche. And how we're going over here on TikTok. Howdy, Fraser. Hello, mate. So I'm going to use one of these as an example because of one I haven't done yet. Let's move a lot of these out the way. I'm going to check the NASCAR first because that one does have hot glue, and I'll show you what I've done with that because it's a really cheap and effective upgrade, which honestly doesn't cost you a cent, and it does make a massive difference. So let me just quickly get the NASCAR. We've got two of them, but I know this one has got some glue already in it, hot glue, and I'll tell you why I use hot glue in a tick. So this one has 4 screws. This is Carrera digital and analog. This car can drive on both tracks, both Carrera digital and analog. We use it in digital mode on the racing, and it is one of their latest licenses. They've gone NASCAR in 2024, and they've continued it in 2025. So that's the internals of the cars are so cool. He doesn't ignore us. How do you get digital chips? The most common. Thank you, mate. Thank you. There's the NASCAR. Enzo talks a lot. I'm missing something. Have I missed something? True. He sounds pretty humble. Oh, thank you, mate. How do you get digital chips, slot cars, or do they come with it? I'll answer that in the tick. Let me have a quick look. I love streamers who don't know. I try not to. If I do miss anything, I try. I've got TikTok and YouTube going. So I do miss some people. I do apologize. And even when we're racing, I have a phone running. I only stream to one of them at a time. So if I am racing later on, digital racing, I will have a phone so I can talk to people. Hello, Sleepy. Hello, mate. So this is the digital one. Somebody just asked me in the chat, how do you get a digital chip? If you do buy a digital slot car, you will get the digital chip in it. So it will come as a digital. We're going to talk Carrera right now. Scalatric, I don't think any of them come digital. You have to buy the aftermarket chip. I could be wrong, but every Scalatric car I've been sent or purchased doesn't have a digital chip, which is a different brand. So let's not confuse it. But if you're looking at Scalatric, you may have to buy the chip from Scalatric separately. Simple as that, because it won't come with it. Carrera is another story. There's 2 ways to buy Carrera. There's either a black case or a blue case. And I don't have it to show you, but if you're buying a Carrera car, it will be in a crystal case, much bigger than this, very squared off, and the base of that case will be blue. And it actually will say digital on the back if you look close enough. But the black case is a analog car, so no digital chip, and the blue case will have a digital chip installed. Very simple. If you are going to buy an analog car, can you tune it? I'll have a chat about that in the tick. If you do buy a digital car or an analog car, you want to put a digital chip in, it's simply one screw in the middle. There's a screw in the middle of the chip itself. So there is a screw in the middle. You unscrew that, and there's a lot of plugs that are color-coded. Motor, guide, and lights. This one doesn't have lights because it's a NASCAR. NASCARs don't have lights. They've stayed true to form, but these ones do have working lights. The Lamborghini, the lights, rear tail lights, they all work. So that's what the other plugins are for. Very simple to put in. There's no soldering. They are expensive. I think they're about 40 euros a pop. But if you buy a digital car, it comes with it. If you don't have a digital car, make sure your chassis, if it's a Carrera, has the 2 holes in the bottom, because that means it will fit. Simple. Very, very simple. Someone asked a question. What brands of slot cars do you have? At the moment, I did sell a big collection at the start of the year. I had over 4,000 cars, and I had one of nearly every brand you can think of. At the moment, I've got Scalatric, Carrera, Thunderslot, NSR, Pioneer, Scale Auto, BRM, Revo Slot, Avant Slot. So I've got 9 different brands that I have at the moment, but not a lot of cars, to be honest. So what I'm going to check out now, what brands, how does the digital chip work? Can you tune it? So no, you can't tune the digital chip. The digital chip has a little sensor. I'm not going to get into the technical jargon because a lot of people will call me out on it. I'm not a technical guy, but it does have a sensor. I think it's like an eye sensor or something. And on the track, if you've got a dig, can you repeat that, please? What did you want me to repeat? Did I miss something? I had over 4,000. I don't anymore. I had heaps. So it was, I think it was 4,000. It was up there. It was a lot of cars, sets. It was huge. It filled up a whole van when I sold the collection. I didn't want to sell it, but I had to. the light sensor, if you have a digital track Carrera, if you have digital pieces, and I'll show you during my live streams, if you come watch one of my live streams when we're racing, you'll see how they work. That light, if you're driving it as a driver, you'll have a controller with what's called a digital button as well. And as you approach the lane changer, which changes like a train track, as you approach that, if you hit that button, it will then tell that piece of track on that sensor that you want to go across. And it will literally flick a bit of metal as you're approaching really fast, and you'll go over to the other side. Very simple. Same thing if you're going into the pits to fuel up. You'll go into the pits via a lane changer. You'll park in a certain piece of track, and then that will register your chip, and via the app, it'll fill your car up with fuel. It gets technical, and that's how the chip works. You can slow the car down as well. So when it comes to being tuned via the app or the power base, you can actually, for kids, really slow these down. So if they pull the trigger, they're literally going really slow, or you can speed them up. You can also tune the braking. So if you let go of the trigger, it will either brake really hard or coast, so it doesn't brake at all. Lots of stuff you can do. Thank you, mate. I appreciate it. Someone did ask yesterday during a stream, could I do some different live streams? And I said, yeah, of course I can. So if you are enjoying it, let me know. We've hit over 20,000 subs too, guys. I appreciate it. I don't want to announce it yet because we're up and down. How do you control the digital cars? I've only ever driven toy grade slot cars around. This is toy. This is a toy grade. Don't get it mixed up. This is not a hobby grade. It's only got a digital chip. It's still a toy brand. It's Carrera. It's highly produced. I don't have the controller on me. Let me go get it. I'll go get the controller. Give me 2 seconds and I'll bring a controller and show you what it does. And if you watch later on, you'll see it on track. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be back. I'll be back to see you later. And don't ask me about controllers yet because there's lots of controllers too. That's for another video. That's for another video. So controller. Oop. This is the standard Carrera. They're the only brand from memory at the moment that use we call it a thumb press. So that's your thumb press controller. They're the only brand that I can think of at the moment that currently uses a thumb press. They've done it forever. Normally is a pistol grip. So if you think about, I can't say the word because we're on social media, but it's a pistol grip and you squeeze a trigger like this instead of pressing down. So how the digital car works is, no worries, mate. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I know it's very late. Thank you, mate. I appreciate it. How this works, and it's a very weird time to go live. I completely get it. So how the digital car works is by driving it is simple. Push down the button. That controls your speed. There is your digital button. Good night, mates. Have a good sleep. This button here is your digital lane changer. If you hold that button in, when this car goes past the digital lane section, it will change lanes. That literally just tells the car, it makes this flash, you won't see it, and it goes across track. Very simple. It's the same as driving a non-digital car. It's just now you've got the option to change lanes. No different. How are we going for we're almost an hour. How are we going on time? All right, another 5 minutes. So servicing these for what my purposes, if you are getting into running a lot of laps like I do, got to run. Great show. Look forward to seeing your drag shoot. Cheers, mate. I appreciate it. Cheers, buddy. Who was that? Benny. Thank you, mate. I appreciate it. You stopped reading the comment halfway through. Which comment? Oh, hold on. Sorry. How do you control the digital cars? I've only ever driven a toy grade car around 10 to 15 years ago. Are the remotes still wide? Okay. Thanks. He's like, shut up and read my comment. Sorry, mate. So these are wireless. That is wireless, but not every controller is wireless. So Carrera come with a wireless, this is the older version. I'll have a hello, mates. Hello, Krish. Hello. I will do a video again of the new wireless, and it's literally the same. You just walk around with it, so you can marshal yourself. So that's wireless. Carrera still do a plug-in. There's no real difference, but this one is wireless. So this one is charged by the base. The latest wireless controllers don't stand up. They literally fall over because they're like a banana, but they take AA batteries. So they've only changed how the power is received. Said hi. Hello, Julian. Hello. So quickly before I finish, Service on these, because we're doing thousands of laps, I'll double check, making sure that everything free spins. I mean, that can be probably oiled up in a bit of grease. What were the brands? I didn't hear you. The brands that I had, at the moment, I've got Scalextric, Carrera, Thunderslot, Pioneer, RevoSlot, BRM, NSR, Avant Slot, and I think that's it. I did say one more, but I can't remember. And Carrera, I think I said that. Yeah, that's it. What can you tell me about gain of function research? What does that even mean? I'm not that smart. So when I'm servicing these, I'll make sure that the back is free spinny. I can already see that there's a fair bit of gunk between your, I'll call it the axle. There's a bit of gunk on the axle. I'll just make sure I clean them up. A quick trick as well, if you take the axles out, which is very easy without breaking them, if you just take the axles out, they pop in. They've got a collar, your brass collar. There you go. I can actually show you right now. If I take it apart, that's already got a shit ton of hair in it, so I'll get rid of that. Give them a clean, because then it will spin freer. And if you get yourself a little bit of sandpaper, real thin stuff, can I see a Pioneer and a Thunderslot? Yep. That's a Thunderslot. Beautiful Lola, hobby grade. And that's the Pioneer, which is very much like a Scalextric, but a lots of American muscle, I'll call it. And it's got a higher power motor. Junk. I missed that. Okay. So yeah, a good tip with your axles for your Carrera cars is get yourself some really fine sandpaper, do a pinch, and give them a spin. Just move the knuckle out the way and just sand that rear axle on both sides, and you'll find it will spin a lot better. Making sure there's nothing stuck in the teeth. Get a toothbrush, really, really simple. A lot of gunk will catch up. Do you know how the wireless remote communicates with the cars? Is there a base station kind of main receiver? Yep. So there is a Bluetooth dongle that you plug in. It's a literal dongle that you plug into the base station. And these will then link up via Bluetooth, and you'll have 6 controllers maximum linked up to that. That's how it works. They've all got their own dedicated channel, so they don't cross over, no interference. But the maximum controllers that you go racing with is 6. On the track that the remotes connect, do they connect? Yeah, so there you go. So they don't connect to the car. They don't have a car receiver. It's completely different to RC. They've got a location that they all go to, but there's only 6 of them. So you've got a dedicated channel. There's 6 channels on the dongle. You go through each, racer 1, racer 2, racer 3, racer 4, racer 5, racer 6, and you pair them accordingly. Simple. So make sure that's all cleaned out. Front axles aren't as important, but you can still pop them out and do the same thing, sand them. And the other thing I always check, and this one's been done before, you probably can't see that. This is what we need. What do you need? Oh, awesome. The motor itself, some of these chassis, do you collect Hot Wheels? Yes, I do. I reckon I've got about 10,000 Hot Wheels at the moment. Let's just say, no, I'm going to say 5,000 just to keep it fair. Literally in a room just over here, we've got a full box of them. I've collected Hot Wheels for a very long time, but I have slowed down. I just collect Porsche stuff now. I used to have a very big collection, still do. But yeah, I do collect Hot Wheels. The motors in these, every chassis is different. So this is your NASCAR chassis. Let me quickly put this back in. So I know I've got the chassis together. Make sure it spins. Always make sure your chassis spins. This is a NASCAR chassis, so I've given that motor a wiggle, and it is still, yeah, okay, so that glue has broken. So this has got hot glue, and it's not holding the motor. The motor is moving, which gives the axle play. So I'm going to try and, on camera, if we can, snap that out, and I will hot glue it again before I go racing. So let me just snap the hot glue out. And the reason I use hot glue, hopefully I can prove it, it snaps out really easily. It won't last forever, but it won't break your chassis because the chassis is plastic. If you go a super strong glue and then you try and take it apart because it's come loose, you will rip apart your chassis. It will rip so that's a bit of hot glue there. I always use hot glue. It doesn't last as long as super glue, but it won't ruin your car. I'm going to get this one out as well, and I'll show you why I did that. That has lasted easily over 1,000 laps. So there's my hot glue. But now watch when I give the motor a bit of a shake like this, and it's dancing. It's dancing. Like, you don't want that. You don't want the chassis. You don't want the motor pod dancing, because right now it is screwing up what's called meshing. So you got rear meshing here. You got two bits of gears. They go together, and that dancing around is going to give you rear chatter. So you're going to have chatter in the back, and it's also screwing up your meshing. It's never going to be equal. So what I want to do now is, and I can't do it because I don't have an extension lead, get my hot glue gun, hold it in place with my thumb. Yes, I'm Australian. Yeah, I'm Australian. Yep. But I'm in Austria. I'm Australian. You want to get your hot glue gun and just run a bead down both sides, let it cool off, which happens instantly. Once it cools off, you give it a wiggle, and it should be pretty solid. But this one needs to be redone, and that's why I'm going through them, because now this will drive really loose around corners, and you don't want that. You want this as a toy car to be nice and taut. There you go. I'm glad I showed that one, because our hot glue is now gone. Hello, TikTok. Sorry, do you collect Hot Wheels? I've answered that one. Buck Rogers, thank you, mate. I appreciate it. Thanks for the follow, guys. And if you are, that's the fastest welding I've ever seen. Yeah. I don't have an extension. I actually need to do it. Can I do it? Let's do it. Let's do it live. We've got a little bit of time. I'm going to get an extension lead, and we'll quickly do the hot glue together. Let me just quickly get a lead. I've got to stop this. After we do this, I will then stop the stream, because I've got to go charge my phones, because I will have another live stream later. So we're just going to go standard hot glue, let that heat up for a bit, unravel it. Be careful with this. I should warn people before they do it. It is hot. It's in the name, hot glue. And whilst we're doing that, I might as well quickly double check which ones have had it done. That one hasn't. You can normally see, let's undo this one. This is the McLaren, one of their latest ones for 2025. Unfortunately, we've got a fair few broken parts on it, because when I do the racing, we do let them crash on the lane changes. These guys do change lanes randomly, and if they're neck and neck, they will hit each other, and I have damaged all my cars, unfortunately. But, you know, it's for entertainment purposes. I was saying, actually, if you guys haven't, please consider subscribing. We did hit 20,000 subs today. And that's all because of my live streams. That's really changed the channel. So I do appreciate those that have been watching. So let me just quickly sort this guy out. So this one hasn't got any hot glue, and I'm going to show you why. But I haven't checked it for a while. 1, 2, 3. We're missing a screw. Are we missing a screw? There it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's put the shell back on. I normally have a magnetic tray, but I don't have it with me. This is the McLaren, so completely different chassis. Who is going to win the Ashes? I don't know. I don't watch it. Can you speak German? Not really. No. Not to save my life. No. And this one needs hot glue as well. And it didn't when I originally bought this, or had it sent to me, I should say. This one has now got a wiggly motor. So we're going to hot glue this one as well. But when I first took this out of the box 3 or 4 weeks ago, it was tight as anything. But as time goes on, they will loosen up. And that's the difference between the chassis. I mean, one's a NASCAR, one's a McLaren. They are literally different, but the motor and the design is the same. So there you go. So let's do the NASCAR first. See if there's any questions I'm missing. Who is going to ring? Hello, Tattoos. Hello, mate. I dropped my phone, and this is playing on my phone, but I can't press the back button. Oh, you know, your fault. That's the fastest voting. I can't press the back button. Well, press forward then, mate. Gotta love the trolls. So simple. Get in there with the hot glue. I'm just going to hold my thumb on it, and we're going to do some welding. Get that hot glue in there. Really pump it in there, because it's not going to damage anything, but you want it to make a seal between the motor and the chassis. Oh, that's that one done. I was about to bite that, but it's hot. Don't bite it. Don't copy me. So that's one side done. Now I'm going to quickly get in there. And the problem with hot glue, it doesn't stop coming out. So you just got to keep your finger on the pulse. I'm going to glue this one up as well. Trying to get in there, making sure that it makes a connection between the motor and the chassis, and that's it. Pull it back so there's no more hot glue. We'll let that settle, and we'll see. And it's a messy junk. We'll see if that's actually solved our problem. It might have, it might not have. You should really, if you really want to get personal with it, you can take the motor out and scratch up the plastic underneath, and that will help it. Yeah, so it's not, I think the chassis is starting to not have a seal on it. So that one needs to be redone. you will get it done. Like the first time, it might not be the right way. Whilst that one's settling, let me just do the McLaren. We'll see if we can get a better result with the McLaren. But you do got to move quick with this stuff. All right, here we go again. Hello, mates. God, it's good to diddle. See you around. Thank you, 1010. I appreciate it. Thank you, mate. Let me just quickly, we're just hot gluing. We're doing some servicing on our cars now. So I'm going to let this sort of weld itself in. All right, I'm going to hold my finger on it this time so it doesn't lose connection. And then we're going to do the same on this side. Just let it do its thing. Pressing it on the plastic. It's literally like welding without welding. All right, that should be enough for that one. Pull it back so we don't lose too much glue. There's a messy junk, this stuff. And we'll see if that one solves the problem. And then, oh, it's still hot. Don't touch that. Oh. Let's have a look. Should be dry in a tick. And this should sort out this motor now. Done. So that one's done. I'll do the other one off camera because it's going to take a while. But that McLaren now has a motor pod. How many Carrera DIECAST? Not many, mate. Probably 12. I had a lot in Australia. Not anymore. I sold all my collection, so I'm starting again. And giving that a wiggle, it's not moving anymore. So that fixed it. Hot glue, done. So now this car will do better in today's racing, which means I'm going to have to be fair and do all the rest of them. So there you go. Thank you, guys. If you haven't watched the full stream, we did go through some Scalatric stuff. I am working on a video at the moment where I'm using a Scalatric car. It's coming up. The Volvo. We're going to do some drag racing with the Volvo. I'm going to see if I can turn this Volvo, this standard Scalatric car, into a drag weapon just by changing the motor from different brands, getting more powerful as we go up. Let's see how that one goes. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to subscribe. We've just hit over 20,000, so I appreciate those that did. And TikTok, we're on our way to 6,000. So cheers, guys, and I will see you all in the next stream. Ciao.